Alright guys, we got to the second campsite last night and it's absolutely beautiful as you can see. We also met up with some friends. We're going to introduce you to Halle and Jared and show you around their vans.
Hi, I'm Halle of Halle's Wandering Soul. I'm a travel blogger and YouTuber, and this is my van.
Halle's one of my favorite YouTubers, so be sure to check out her YouTube channel all about van life and all the adventures. And if you need travel guides, she's your girl.
She's a 1997 Dodge Ram van. She used to be a handicap van, and she's since been converted into my tiny home. So let's go check her out.
Yeah. Alright, well, show us around.
Okay, so when you first come in, you are immediately in the kitchen. So this is my fridge. I would show you the inside, but we desperately need to go grocery shopping right now, so she's a little empty. But right on top of the fridge is one of my favorite parts of the kitchen, which is the little fruit basket, which is kind of just like an open-faced pantry, just for easy access to kind of the fresh fruits and veggies. And then I've got my sink, which I do have a 6-gallon water tank, fresh water tank down here, and a 6-gallon gray water tank as well, which I can show you.
Yeah.
And it does run on the water pump, which is charged by the solar.
And then you have your propane tank?
Yeah, so the propane tank runs the 2-burner stove, which is up here. And it was really hard to find a propane tank that size. So if you don't have a lot of room, definitely prepare for that.
How did you find the propane tank?
I found it on Amazon, and then I had to go and just like get it filled somewhere instead of buying one and then like being able to fill it at the store that I bought it, which would have been way more convenient, but I mean, they exist if you don't have a ton of room.
How long does it last you?
I think the last time we refilled it a while ago, so we're probably almost out. I think it lasted about 2 months of like us cooking pretty much every meal on it. This is the 2-burner stove.
Well, I wish we had it built in, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's so much better.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easy, and then having the like flat top that covers it makes it so that you kind of have like maximum counter space. So if we're not making something that needs to be heated up, like if we're just like, I don't know, making guacamole, we've been doing a lot of guacamole over here, we can just kind of use it as counter space instead of always having like a big, like the bulky camp stove out like I had originally.
Cool. Anything else in the kitchen?
That's kind of it, except for like the electrical stuff is down here. So this is kind of like the maintenance cabinet. So this is just like all of the manuals of everything in the van. This is the inverter, which runs the fridge and the like charger outlets. And then I just have one 12-volt battery, but we're thinking about getting a second one hooked up soon. And then the charge controller right here. I do have 2 flat solar panels on the roof. I think it's about 200 amps of solar, or 200 watts of solar. I didn't hook up the solar, so I'm still kind of learning. I think it's about 200 watts, and then I have the 12-volt battery down there. The fridge is not super energy efficient, so I'm thinking about possibly replacing that soon with something that can run directly off of the 12-volt battery, just so that I can kind of conserve power a little bit more and just, if there's a cloudy day, not have to worry about the battery running out and not having light when night falls. So this is kind of my like storage unit, I guess you could call it. So this one, I keep all of my like tech supplies, like, and then in here I've got all of my bathroom slash like first aid kit stuff. I am wilderness first aid certified, so I have a full first aid kit. Down here I've got kind of just my kitchen stuff, which includes pots, pans, spices. I definitely want to put in a spice rack somewhere, maybe up here or over here, I'm not sure, just to kind of have more easy access to that. Here's t-shirts, and then below I've just got like socks and underwear and extra sheets and stuff like that. And then this one is actually not a drawer, it's actually an emergency toilet, but it's very rarely used because it's really gnarly to dump. So if you're thinking about putting in an emergency toilet, think twice. So up here I've just got kind of an I guess like an open concept shelf. But really, when I got the van, it was already mostly built out, but these shelves were completely non-functional. They were open, and of course, like you can see with the lean of the shape of the van, the shelf is actually leaning downward, so it really couldn't hold anything, especially when I was driving. So I boxed in all of these shelves and made them like super sturdy so it could hold the heavy stuff like books and just kind of like the little on-the-road library, because sometimes you're off the grid and you need some entertainment. It actually used to be used as the closet, so I used to have all my sweaters and stuff hanging in there, but then we were finding that we just had snacks like everywhere. If I was trying to transition to a new spot, I'd have to just like pile everything on the bed, which just, you know, you have to move things around all the time. So I rearranged things actually like just last week. So now all my sweaters are up here, and instead in here is all of my food, and I actually put my laundry basket in here too. So
I like the baskets, like that's such a good use of space.
Yeah, so this kind of just has snacks in it, so it's got like nuts and granola bars and stuff like that, and this is just like sugar, nutritional yeast, and stuff for kind of cooking up there, and then just snacks and cereal, and then like I just needed the laundry basket to
you gotta have somewhere for the laundry basket.
It was just like out for like a month because I just couldn't figure out a place that was functional for it. Okay. Welcome to the bed area. This is obviously one of the most cozy parts of the van. It's actually kind of become a little bit of a collection of like stuff from my travels, which I really love. These are actually from a cousin of mine who lives in North Carolina, who gave them to me on my first like 3 months on the road, because they actually symbolize protection, and I was a solo female traveler at the time, so I really hold these near and dear to my heart. This pillow traveled the entire country with me last summer. It's just kind of the representation of what I was doing. I was hitting all 48 connecting states in 3 months, which is nuts. Definitely don't do it. It's way too fast to move for any traveler, but it was really fun and it inspired me to keep going. And then this black blanket here is actually from my time in Thailand, and we actually learned to weave with one of the local villages, and that was where I acquired this blanket, which happened to be a really similar pattern to the seat covers in the front of the van, so that was kind of why I chose that one. But yeah, I mean, this is just kind of the cozy area. So this is actually a trunk that I got originally for my college dorm room. But it's since acquired a sticker from pretty much everywhere I've traveled to since I graduated high school. The entire top of it is actually everywhere that I went on that first 3 months on the road. So it's full of national parks and recreation areas and a couple cities. So I don't really know where stickers are gonna go when the whole thing fills up, but it's definitely one of the things in the van that I hold the most near and dear to my heart because it holds every single travel memory. So this actually holds a lot of my clothes. I really need to downsize my clothes really bad. But right now it's mostly like pants and leggings and a few sweatshirts.
Cool.
Yeah. This is a full-size memory foam mattress. It is a little bit shorter because it actually tucks under the wall. I've definitely thought about ways to just kind of make the space a little bit longer, because right now all sleeping happens diagonally, which is not super comfortable. You're not like really maximizing the bed space.
Right.
But it is a full size, which is really nice for kind of just spreading out during the day, and like I use this as my couch, my workspace, and my bed. I definitely will just kind of sit here either this way and stack a bunch of pillows against the doors, or stack a bunch of pillows so that my head isn't hitting the shelf, just so that I can work from the road because I do work remotely. So up here I have a Max Air fan. So this also runs on the 12-volt battery, which is charged by my solar panels. It's actually one of the more high-tech fans. It does have a remote, which is super nice if we're like up at the front cooking and it gets super hot in the van, which definitely happens when you're running the stove in 100-degree heat. But also it does have a rain sensor, really good to just have and know that something is kind of keeping an eye out so you don't get rained on in the middle of the night if it's hot enough and you need to have the vent open.
The one thing I heard about the rain sensing ones is that like if it was a really dewy day or something like that it would just shut on you, and so you might end up like with no ventilation.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much of that. There was one night where it did need to be open at night because it was 102 degrees during the day, and I felt it start to drizzle in the middle of the night and it did not shut. So I don't know how hard it needs to be raining for it to actually go off, but who knows?
It doesn't seem that sensitive.
No, it doesn't.
And how long have you been on the road now?
So actually on June 19th, it'll be 1 year of full-time travel, which is super exciting. It's just like crazy to see how far I've come, and like it's just so cool to kind of see that evolution and see like how much more confident you can be on the road when you've just kind of figured things out and been on the road for more months, and things start to fall into place eventually.
Nice.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Sequoia, the Dodge Ram conversion van, and yeah, let's go check out Jared's van.
Sweet.
Hi, I'm Jared. This is my van. It's a 2016 Transit Connect named the USS Alley. And you can find me on Instagram at Jared in the Van. I've been on the road for 10 months now.
Yeah.
I don't know why I looked at you.
Because I keep track of things.
You keep track. She keeps track of everything.
Yeah, you can just tell us a little bit about your van.
This is like a fold-out futon style thing. Just come in here and pop it out, and it becomes a full bed. Pretty good amount of room. Throw the sheets on.
Nice. Perfect.
As you can see, I have the roof covered in AstroTurf because why not?
Is that a really good insulator?
It's better than nothing.
Yeah,
there's a few points of straight metal, but you know, I just wanted a little bit of green. As you can see here, the kitchen area, super simple. Smarties, of course. Picture of the family, of course. I did used to use the cylinder cans, but I do have a line set up to my 5-pound propane tank, which makes it a little simpler. It does take up a little bit more room, but you can go a little bit longer without buying new cans.
And the type of fridge that you have?
Oh, it's not a fridge, it's a cooler, which, I mean, it does pretty well. If I buy the blocks of ice, they last me about 2 weeks if I, you know, keep the cooler shut as much as possible. It's kind of got like a little frame here to keep it in place. And this is also like another eating area if I have multiple people in here. I don't have any wired lights, but I do have like the puck light.
You got a little blackout curtain there, I see?
Yeah, I mean, this is just some regular like house curtains I put up with like a shower rod. Stays pretty well, I mean, keeps the light out. The windows are tinted, but I hate light, so I also put up another round of curtains there.
Smart move.
And so it's really dark in the mornings. So Coleman Stove, I've had it since the beginning. It's ran for 10 months now. It's a little dirty right now, which is to be expected, but it's done me well.
Gets a lot of use, that's why it's dirty.
Lots of use. It used to be all fruits, and then kind of had a sweet tooth for a second, so now it's all Oreos and sweet cereals.
I hear you.
This is the spice rack back here. But yeah, this is kind of a general. This was a placemat that my aunt gave me. And the fan is just wired to I do have a secondary battery that only is plugged into the engine, so it charges when I run the vehicle, but I use the fan here and there, but not enough to be super worried about it. I always have the doors open. I do have like a little cigarette lighter plug here that plugs into the battery, so if like I'm sleeping, I can charge my phone at night. But yeah, that's the only thing that really runs off the battery. I mean, I could possibly hook up a fridge to it, but might have to get into solar, and that's a whole nother thing. The clothes storage, not very intricate. Of course, the longboard, extra water, propane.
Yeah.
Very simple, very easy.
Very simple, very easy.
All right, what you got up there?
All sorts of goodies. Of course, the climbing, I had to get the bag so I could fit the climbing pad. Multiple sleeping bags. I have climbing rope, 2 tents. It's very essential for how tiny the space is. And this is a Seattle Sports SurePack 15, I think is the name, and they're a really good company.
Sweet.
In the build, I probably put about $200, because most of the wood was like scrap wood I picked up along the way. The most expensive thing is probably the cooler, and that's the thing I use the most, so.
Good investment.
Good investment. The van, I paid $10,000, I think.
Because I bought my van pretty much already built out with all of the bells and whistles, including the fridge, the max air fan, the emergency toilet, all of the electric and solar and plumbing already complete, the van in total, including like the actual vehicle itself, cost me about $14,000. So that was mostly covered by the sale of my old Kia Soul, so it kind of paid off, and I really only ended up putting a couple thousand into the entire project, including the renovations that I ended up doing and all of the like mechanical stuff that I've had to update just because she is a little bit older. So we both actually started traveling solo last summer. Like, it turns out he was a couple weeks behind my route, like pretty much the entire time, which I think is really cool. So we've been to a lot of the same places. We didn't know each other at all. It turns out he had Thanksgiving like 20 miles away from where I had Thanksgiving in Portland. We met at a van life meetup called RTR. Yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So now you caravan, and
yeah, usually he's in front because he's just kind of the better point guy and the better scout, for campsites. Obviously we just have one big van, it would be totally different, but it just makes sense to kind of send the smaller van in first. Even though we do have the two kind of living spaces, we've been spending kind of most of the time in my van, and we both sleep in Sequoia.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this van tour. We're so happy that Halle and Jared were willing to share their beautiful builds with us. If you guys have any questions, be sure to ask in the comments below or DM Halle and Jared. They'll be happy to answer all of your questions.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys next time.